Right.
What up, y'all? I'm here with Cycle, Michael, and
Pure Shaka Lana.
oh yeah, that's how we greet each other. How are you feeling today?
I mean, I feel good.
Feel good?
Even better that I'm drinking this ice cold 90-minute IPA from Dogfish Head.
Hey, look, they not sponsoring us, so we're not gonna give them that much time. But cheers, cheers to beers.
Cheers to beer.
Cheers to beers.
And bikes.
And bikes. That's what we doing today. Bikes and beers, baby. Bikes and beers. All right, so we're gonna check out the Daniel Harwi 34th annual Spring Classic Crit that took place this past weekend at Lower Providence. We're looking at the women's 4-5 race, which I raced in.
Gang, gang.
We had a really strong field, a lot of GII racers. It was great to see them again.
Getting it in.
Getting it in. Shout out to the Get It In crew. We were, between us at SOAR Foundation and Get It In, we were probably a little bit more than half the field. So
Yeah.
that was really, really cool. A lot of folks have gotten a lot stronger since last year, including myself. So I'm just really excited to see the progression that we make as a team.
Yeah, I was gonna say experience, but
Yeah.
make, yes.
All right.
I burped. My bad.
That beer.
It's
You
the
ready to
beer.
get into it?
Let's get into it.
Cheers.
The very beginning.
Yeah.
Yo, I used to do that like when I went to Grand Fondos, like just be like, yo, can you look at my camera? Am I good? Am I on? And
My
they'd be
mom.
like, bro, you're on. Mama Harshaw.
Look at her. Pure Shaka. Yo, she the Shaka-est person I know.
She is.
If you ever ask what the inspiration for Pure Shaka was, it was my mother.
Yeah, yeah. Papa Harshaw's over there too.
Oh yeah, he's over there in the cut.
Grandma Harshaw's over there.
Okay.
But the whole crew out. Look at this field. Like, so I get really encouraged when I see like the big fields like this
Yeah.
in the women's races. I don't really care. Like the men's races are the men's races. They're always going to be stacked. I love seeing a stacked women's field. It's dope, yo.
Yeah. And I love racing in a larger field like this because it's easier to work on some of the things like riding in a peloton, proximity to like being close to people, having to
there's
figure out. Oh, yeah, look, it's you.
Hello, y'all.
Having to figure out like lines and when to make your moves and everything. It's
Right.
easier to practice this in a bigger field.
Definitely so. And you can figure out like the fastest way pretty much to get around the course.
Exactly.
Which is like one of my favorite things. I know like in the men's race, the line that I thought was going to be the slower line ended up being the faster line, which was around the outside because everybody was hitting their brakes on the
Yeah.
corner for some reason.
Yeah.
And you can kind of swoop around the outside and gain like 5 positions.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to do too throughout the race. We'll see that in some of the cornering. I kind of stayed wide because there was a lot of like getting jammed up on the inside. And I do think like maybe if you're in the front of the field and you're able to choose your line, that probably would have been the better line to take because it's shorter distance. But when you're riding in the group, I did find that wide line was better. But this was cool. We got a couple of folks from the men's team came out. Habib over there with his son.
That's his nephew.
Oh, nephew.
That's
Okay.
Hassan's son.
Hassan's son. Okay. So
Coach
Hassan's
Carter
kid.
in the background giving everybody
There
high
you go.
fives.
Hassan with his daughter. My mother was in the
Yeah.
pink over there taking pictures. Yeah, Carter, good people. He comes by every race that I've been a part of and daps everyone else. So it's really
Literally everyone on the
the start line.
start line. Yeah.
So off to the races here. We got again GII up in the front. Reagan, who I just learned of, she raced 2 weekends ago with me, and she won that race as well.
There's Kelly over there.
I think she put Beanie Babies.
Beanie
That's
Babies,
who she
yeah,
raced
number
for.
119 or 719, I think she is.
And then Bree, I raced with her, number 700.
700 there.
She's bicycle therapy with Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
E Will. Big
Yep.
shout out to E Will.
Yeah.
He's a local legend.
Very much so. Good dude.
On
I was
the
happy to
road
see
scene.
him.
Yeah.
was happy to see
It's
him.
always good to see him out at the races and stuff. He is a beast in cyclocross, yo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I want
a
to
lot
get
of
out there
people
and,
didn't know.
and see some of that. And I don't know if I'll ever do that, but I do want to just see it. I know there's a few folks that we ride with that partake, and that would be good.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it at least twice
Okay.
and see how well I do. But I was watching track racing today, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
something else I think I want to get into.
Okay.
Um, You guys did not have a neutral lap.
We did not. So a lot of times with our races, it's just get up and go kind of thing. I mean, this race was at the very, very end of the day, like the last race. And I know it was a very long day. You guys raced at 8 a.m. in the morning, and I was glad to have the bus out there to be able to take a nap. So that was cool.
Yeah, shout out to SOAR Racing for providing
shout out to SOAR Racing.
A whole ass bus.
Yes. Party wagon.
There was a party wagon, and we barbecued out there.
We barbecued, we had tents, we had beer, we had coffee, thanks to Tricycle, one of our premier sponsors. Pure Shaka providing that recovery. CBD. So we got a little spread out. It's just still early, right? But we did get a little bit spread out. I do notice in the women's races, a lot of times people are kind of like hesitant to go until that first person goes. So there is a lot of kind of bunching together, and you'll see some sprints out of nowhere. I know I am guilty of that. I don't know the rhyme or reason. I'll try to like figure out and explain my thought process on some of those as the video goes on. But
it also seems like in the beginning, like that first lap, you were in the wind.
A lot.
Yeah. Right here, it looks like you fell in. You got a wheel, and you're just you're sitting in there. There goes your cheering section.
Oh
there.
yeah, the people.
See Eric
look,
Williams
the people
on the
were
side.
out. Yeah, the people were out. I was excited to see so many people.
Yeah.
And our field was actually bigger than the 1, 2, 3 field, which I was surprised to see. I think they only had 10 people. So, end of the day, again, after being out there all day, I was excited to have whatever people were here to support. So GII early, they kind of got up to the front. You've seen a couple of them pushing the pace and picking up speed a little bit, and they can do that. They have so many people, right?
Right.
They can send a few people off the front and not have to worry about chasing it down, make the other folks work, and potentially get into like a formation, which when you have that many people, it's just a luxury, at that point. So just kind of pace line in here. Probably could have hopped a little bit further to the right just to catch a little bit more draft there.
It looks to me like you're actually in a pretty good spot here.
The wind was kind of coming on an angle because we hit wind coming down that road, that straightaway, and then there was wind on this part too, even though it's a decline. So I probably could have caught up here a little bit faster, maybe, and stayed tucked in. I'm still a little bit like too far outside, I think.
Yeah, but this is, I'm watching everyone kind of freewheeling down there, and like, no, you look good. Because you're not using a lot of energy. And the whole thing is like, the whole reason behind drafting is to conserve energy and not be putting out like a shitload of watts. So I think you did a good job there. This is where you're in trouble though, sometimes like when you start to go outside, but obviously you have to pass this person because they're not going fast enough. And then look at this. Get off my wheel. And nobody follows the motor.
There's
That's
Ashley.
so funny.
She's a beast on GII.
Yeah.
Love racing with her. Their energy, man. I just really, they keep it all day. Like from 8 o'clock in the morning, they're out there supporting
Tony still has their phone in the back pocket. That's dope.
And everyone just kind of brings the energy, even the guys. So that was a good one. Now the other thing I was thinking, like as I go wide, if the field wasn't so spread out wide, naturally it would curve back in.
Oh, I'm about to yell at you right here.
You are. Get off the front. Get off the front.
Yeah.
It's almost like that's a race christening. Like if I don't hear that at least once per race, it's not right. So it's like, that's like my thing. But that was what I was trying to do in this race, just practice setting in. Obviously right here, I'm not doing the best job at that, but sometimes too, you don't want to slow down and hit the brake because then you got to use a lot of power to get back up. So it's almost pick your poison. Do you want to catch a little wind? It's going to slow down anyway. And you see they caught right back up. Ashley came to the front.
Is that an Athos? Is she on an Athos?
I'm not sure. I believe I saw she got a new bike, but I'm not sure what kind of bike it is.
It's like an Yeah,
so.
It's a good looking bike.
It's a good looking bike. Good looking bike. So
you guys were going not so fast on this part, no?
No, we were going relatively slow because we were hitting a lot of wind.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's smart, and they're like, let me
just chill,
conserve my energy until the end. Now, this is what. So I was having a conversation with somebody before the race or during the race, and I was like, oh, look at Morgan.
Yep.
Morgan's like, yeah, I'm gonna take my turn up front.
All right, so there's a couple of times where Morgan, she actually pushes the pace, and you'll hear the field like she's going, and like it gets a little exciting, like because Morgan was pushing it. So we might have something there.
That cadence is so high. Her cadence is wicked.
I think she was in the small ring though.
Oh.
That was the other thing I noticed when I was watching the video. So we'll just need to
we'll have to check it out.
Just chat and say like, because her cadence was super high. She's like kind of bouncing around a little bit.
Yeah, if you're bouncing in your seat or on your saddle, then that's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Now the good part was she was still able to put out power. Like,
I mean,
look, she's putting out power, but I think she's in the small ring.
She's definitely bouncing too much, and she's got to shift.
Yeah.
And I think when she came around, so the first time I saw her moving like that, I was like, yo, you got to shift gears. You got to shift gears. I was yelling at her from the side because she could be right up there with them if she was able to. She's probably putting out a good amount of watts, but not productive watts.
Yeah, so a small surge there from the folks. But again, in Cat 4 or 5, like it gets brought back pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, especially in a course like this, nothing's going to stick unless it's a group. And we saw that in the 1, 2, 3, where they had 9 people go off the front, and I was just yelling at her, shift your gear, shift your gear. They had, I think, 8 or 9 riders go off the front. That's the only way you're going to get a good break on this type of course.
And that was something too that I was thinking after the fact, right? It's hindsight's 2020. I was like, I wonder, because this group pretty much stayed together for the entire race. So I was like, I wonder if there was an opportunity to go off the front and get a little bit of a breakaway with maybe like 4 or 5 of us, just to separate, stretch it out, get people's like heart rates up a little bit, and, you know what I mean, and see if we could work together once we broke away, and then have it come down to like a slugfest, at the end.
Sprint finish.
Yep.
And that was the thing I was talking about to somebody. I alluded to something different because I lost my train of thought. But the fact that you all stayed together, I was talking to Rachel Rubino about it. I was like, Rachel, I love when Coach Rachel. I love when the group stays together, especially if it's a smaller, like a less than 20. I love it when they all just stick together until the end. And then in the end, like, you have this exciting ass finish because you already know who can pull away. So give us a show for, I don't know, 25 of the 30 minutes. And then the last 2 laps, go fucking ham. You know what I mean? Like, do that. But it makes it, like, I think that's one of the things that makes the women's field a little bit more attractive is, like, the show of it. Like, let's all stick together for
most of the
20,
race.
25 minutes. And then at the end, we'll just blow it apart.
Yeah, so I did, I kind of took, here's Morgan, here she goes. So this is where she's pushing it a little bit. She's going, and
I see him chasing. Look at that.
They chase her down, and I'm just chilling. I'm like, I'll let y'all chase her down.
Yes.
And fill in. And
the dope thing about having a teammate, my teammate's up there, and I'm cool. So either way, even if she was about to have a solo break or whatever. She breaks, you're still in the field, and you have enough power to like move up and control the field. That was super wide right there.
It was, but I carried some of my momentum, and obviously I wanted to. That was the other thing. I didn't want to let the field get too far away, and I wanted to close that down.
That was a good read.
That
was a good read on the field. Like, all right, let me run them back down before that gets away. Because sometimes you take too long. Like, I've had it when I first started, like, sitting on somebody's wheel, and it was a very comfortable wheel. And then, like, they start to get away. Like, the rest of the field goes away, and I'm still on this dummy's wheel. And I'm like,
Well, that's what happened in
missed
my
the
race.
break.
That's what happened in my race the previous weekend. And the other thing I was concerned about was hitting this corner and not being in the pack with all the
Right.
wind.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, look, I'll push a little bit. We'll recover when we get around this corner because I knew everyone was going to slow down. So that was the other like strategy part of it that I've been trying to do. But I did ride this race a little bit more defensive minded. So again, I think there were a couple of spots where I could have attacked and maybe led the break. And there were several riders that would have went, I think.
Yeah.
And I actually think we could have turned it up and kept up the pace. I had a lot of energy left at the end of this race, and when we went back and looked at my power didn't record, but my heart rate, it was right within like my normal ranges. And so, again, I was feeling pretty good. Going down this decline too, I felt like was an opportunity to, because you're not going to use as much power because it is a little bit of a slight decline.
Yeah.
And I could have pushed it, I feel like here, at least to surge a little. And again, like, let's make this thing interesting.
Yeah.
But that's more of like that offensive mindset. But again, I kind of went into this thing like, let's just sit in, ride the race, comfortable, and then save that energy for, more towards the end.
Right.
And you'll see, like, there was one part, I think it was like either 4 to go or 3 to go, where I did push and like kind of zoom up past the entire field. I needed to just test my legs, and I don't know if that's the best time to do it, but I was like, I want to test my legs for that reason, and then also just, I know the rest of the field wasn't sprinting, but just to see how I was feeling.
Yeah. Now, you guys had like a little bit of a tailwind here, correct?
A little bit, yep.
Okay.
So this might have been also another opportunity, carry some speed down that decline into this turn, and then kind of go, work a little bit towards the top, but you did have that wind at your back.
Yeah.
So.
This is actually where, oddly enough, on the little incline is where I was recovering. Because like right here, it kept picking up here. Start, finish straight. Turn 1, no one was hitting their brakes in turn 1, which was great. Turn 2, people were hitting their brakes in turn 2, and I would just swing to the outside and kind of bounce around everyone.
Okay.
And on that downhill, I just put in not much of an effort, but a little bit more of an effort. I would surge up, and I could take turn 3 the same way, so where everybody on the inside was hitting their brakes, and I'm just like flying around the outside, picking up like 5 spots, going uphill, and then I would just like kind of sit in. I would find my place and then sit in. I would lose those 5 spots that I got, but I wasn't putting out any effort until I got on start finish.
Which can make the difference like towards the end of the race.
Yeah.
Or later on in the race.
It made a difference for me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, and
hey, listen, I was excited.
I didn't get drop.
I was no, you pulled yourself out. I was excited for the men's race and to see the guys like working together and like
team tactics.
Seeing some of those tactics come into play that we had practiced. We didn't practice a lot, but just even watching you guys practice, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of see like with some of the lead out stuff and that kind of thing. So yeah, around this curve.
This is back to the downhill.
Back to the
slight
downhill. It did pick up usually a little bit, and sometimes you would see some folks come on the inside to try to get a little bit better position. But again, see, there you go.
Yeah.
Now she was kind of, I'm not sure what the roles are when you have the team, but she was their person, I think, that was pushing the pace.
Yeah. So she would go up front, turn it up.
This one, I believe, almost ran into the blue because she cut her. That was I'm not sure what happened with the braking, but I had to cut my turn.
Cadence is crazy too.
And so.
And there's that bounce.
Yep. So we got broken up a little bit here. You see a couple folks off the front. It's my buddy Shana. Haven't seen her since last year. Just pushed it up a little bit.
Y'all are kind of pushing it though.
We were pushing it around. This was probably the faster stretch of the race. And again, I know it was a slight incline, but you come around this corner, people are coming hot. That's why everyone crashes over there. Like, you're coming around this corner really, really hot.
Yeah.
So.
And the biggest thing, like, on that corner, everyone pedal strikes.
Yeah.
Like they'll hit their damn pedal.
It domes a little
top
bit.
over, yeah.
It domes. I think that's the other thing with people like cornering on this turn, because when you hit the top of that like dome in the middle of the street, I think it can throw you a little bit. But like you said, the pedal strikes, I think I did it once or twice when we were practicing.
It's a little scary.
It's a little scary, but mine were real like minor. I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't feel good, but I felt like in control. So again, it slows down, we bunch up again. Everyone knows that we're hitting some wind coming into this turn.
Just chilling out.
So it's like, all right, who's gonna pull in the front? I think we got GII up there. They got a couple wheels in.
I love being able to watch these recaps because I'm watching Kelly and how she is not pulling, and I think it's dope. Like, she's found a good wheel and just sits on that wheel. Who's this number? The one you're on right now?
700. That's Bree. Yeah.
So Bree is kind of on Kelly's wheel almost the entire time, and they're just letting everyone else do the work. And if you're in a group like this, like, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to spend myself. I'm not going to get out there. The only time you were smart to do it because you went out and you're like, all right, I'm just testing the waters.
Yeah.
And then you see after that you tuck back in.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I want to see how, like, test my legs later in the race, and you know, I haven't had a ton of races come down to a field sprint. So like, this is kind of maybe the second one maybe that it's come down to that, just because the fields haven't been like this.
Right.
So, and then when I was in California, that was the bigger field, combined 4, 5, and 35 and up.
Yeah.
That was like 40 people. I loved that race.
Yo, and you held your own in that race.
Oh yeah,
that was so dope.
Racing solo on that one. That was so much fun.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was like really good.
So here's where I was telling you where I think the women's trash talk is a little bit different than the men's. We got children to go back to. We got children to go back to. So I don't think there was any harm intended. I think I think this green rider up here, she slid off to the right, and I don't know if
she took the whole field with her, though.
And people were trying to stay on her wheel, but she slowed down, and it kind of like caused a little bit of chaos there.
But bunched everything up a bit.
But I mean, everyone was aware to avoid anything from happening, and fortunately, everyone stayed wheels up in this race. So.
Yeah. Look at
wheels down.
Kelly's
wheels down.
wheel.
Yep.
Again.
So this is where I pushed it.
Right back on.
This is where I was like, all right, let me just test it out. Yep. Let's just see how my legs are feeling. Really open them up. In preparation for the final sprint is where I was going, because this was lap 3. I think we had 3 left.
3 left here, yeah. Yep. This is good. And I think I remember watching you. I was talking to, who was I talking to? I think I was talking to Josh. And then you did that, and I was like, yeah, she's on the front. And then I saw you turn around, you came around, and then you slowed it down, and I was like, all right, she checked up.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, whether I did it on purpose or not, it was going to happen hitting this wind. In the front, this was the worst stretch to take any pull. Like,
now, adversely, this would have been the perfect place to attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's offensive minded. That was the other thing that I was going to say. Like, there were certain places where I felt like the attack would have been.
How much water did
beneficial.
you drink during the race?
Barely any.
Yeah.
Barely any.
I can tell.
Like, yeah. I was like, I didn't want to lose my focus on drinking
like,
water.
Let me get the bottle. Let me get the bottle. Oh shit!
I've almost caused some crashes trying to kind of stay hydrated.
I've almost perfected the craft. Like, I keep it on my like the down tube, so then I just I can reach up or reach down while I'm pedaling. Like I just put my right leg out a bit, keep pedaling, and just pop it in.
You gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah,
but these races, they're fast and furious.
Yeah, ours aren't real crazy yet because it's 30 minutes. You know what I mean? I love to put in a good I was surprised with how well I did because
you had no warm up.
I stayed in.
You had no
zero warm up. Yo.
Literally, listen, you zip
don't race without warming up.
Exactly.
It's bullshit.
Yes.
Warm up.
You're zipping your jersey up as you're going.
Yeah, get into the thing. You grab my gloves for me.
Gloves, it was crazy.
I don't
so
like.
So here goes Ashley inside, pushing it. So this was a great attack. again, we kind of go. I didn't go hard because, again, I figured that was probably towards the end of the attack. I said, I'll let everybody else fill it in.
Yeah.
And when we hit this corner, again, depending on how you corner.
Who is that? 7:15. Cool as a cucumber the whole race.
That's Shelly. Michelle.
Yo, she just chilled the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And even if she is putting in an effort, it does not look like it.
Yeah. She was directing traffic out there. Like, I don't know if the signals were signals. I don't know. But
yeah. I saw her like with her arm up and like
someone kind of went. So, and again, they had probably like 8 or 9 people, maybe even 10, even in the field.
They always stack the field. I love it. I love to see it.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see so many black and brown riders out there, and in this beginners, field, novice field. So good things hopefully come in, and then hopefully it'll inspire some folks along the way. So it's a little bit of a gap.
This is the only time.
It is. And I think someone comes up. Yes, my buddy Michelle from Westchester Development. I said, let her fill it in. I think that's what I was waiting for. I was like, I'm not going to like go hard. I'm going to let someone else come in. Maybe we'll tow me up to the bunch. Otherwise, they're gonna come back. So
right.
I was like, I'm just not going to put a ton of effort in there.
Kelly, again, smart racer. Kelly's on the front, putting in 0 effort right now.
Just chilling.
Yeah, like you could tell, like the pace slowed down a good amount, and Kelly's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna chill. We're gonna sit here. But I think also Kelly knows that they have the power to break away
if it needs to, or if it's going to happen. Yeah.
And the same thing with Bree. Bree's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm sitting on Kelly's wheel, which is smart. I mean, sitting in is very smart.
Oh,
unless you're in a breakaway, don't sit in the breakaway because that's just a very shitty thing to do. You have to take your pull.
Take your pull. So here, I don't know what I was doing. I
just out
in the wind, just
the world. Yeah, you was out in the world right here.
Out in the world, exploring.
Just let your hair blow, huh?
Just Sunday, just riding in the wind.
Yeah.
I think I was like, let me get to the outside because on this turn, I wanted to be on the outside. And I probably went out a little bit too soon.
Yeah.
So
this isn't okay. This is almost the last lap, right? And this is who's the Westchester development? What's her name?
That's Michelle.
Michelle. Okay, so
her name
Michelle
is Michelle
just
as well.
Pulling everyone. Just sit on my wheel. There's Kelly. Kelly's like, I'm finding Michelle's wheel. Sit on there, and then there's Bree. Bree is married to that wheel.
Yep.
Super smart. And we know Kelly, so we know that Kelly's solid. You know what I mean? And I don't know if Bree knows her or not. Look at that, yes. This is so dope, pedaling through that corner like that.
Shows off the front, Westchester Development.
Yeah.
It's kind of working.
She
Everyone's
is
just like,
pushing. Look at that.
She put in some good work. Like, she definitely was up there. The pace stayed high.
This is it.
But then I think again, when you hit this corner, and you're going into the wind, it's like, all right, someone else like, come get a little bit more work. I'll do some of it.
And I'm curious to see here if you guys still were turning up. Now, see, you're in the wind. Ouch. All right, now you got the wheel again.
Yeah. I was about to go.
Yeah.
I was about to go on this portion, but I said,
just hold back.
I hesitated.
Because you would have burnt. You would have burnt the match. And been hit.
And I don't know if I would have had anything left.
It would have been way too early.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, people get excited. They hear a last lap. And they're like, yo, last lap. I'm about to go this whole lap. Your last lap is long as shit.
Yeah.
It's a long fucking lap.
Yep. So we bunched up again, heading into turn number 2. Pace is starting to pick up a little bit.
It's picking up right here.
You can feel
there we
it.
go.
Yeah, I'm looking down, making sure I'm in the right gear.
Oh, she's giving directions like, yo, you get in there.
I told you she was out there coaching. She was like, go. So they hopped in.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was
a lap rider that you're about to pass now.
On the right. Yeah. I think so. Yep, on the inside. So same thing. I was like, I guess I could have put in a little bit more effort to get up a little bit closer.
Further to the front, yeah. I mean, if you were on let's see.
So look, no.
Look at that. Look at that. Wow.
Boom. So then I went from being
outside.
like 8th wheel, I'm like 5th wheel right now.
Here. Yep.
And I was like, all right, she's off the front again.
Kelly.
But then Reagan went a little bit.
Like,
so here's where I was like, I should have went and got in front of her.
Yep.
That was what this was what changed the trajectory, quite frankly, and very literally, of my last turn. So I'm catching a lot of wind. Go into this turn, I'm very wide, and then she didn't hold her line.
Don't hold your line. Damn.
And I was already clicked
gutter.
into the gear to kind of pick up the pace, and I couldn't. I had to stand up to just get a little bit more momentum.
Right.
So I sat back down, kept it going, then I tried to sprint again the last, however many meters. But that was the race, and just bad position on the last one. I think, like I said, I just hesitated because I was more in defensive mode. Yeah. And if I was
it's a hard thing to, like, it's hard to commit to that if you feel like you're going to, like, collide with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
and
me
there were
being
several
a larger
crashes.
man, like, racer, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care. Like, if it's my line, it's my line.
Yeah.
If I'm committed to it, then I'm staying on that line. And if you bump into me, more than likely you're gonna fall.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna fall on you. Most people don't want me to fall on them. So, I'm usually safe.
Yeah, I just saw, like, earlier in the day there were like 2 or 3 crashes on that corner, and that's where you crashed last year.
Yeah.
And so, like, I feel like if that stuff hadn't happened earlier in the day, like, I probably would have just went. Like, I was ready to go. Like, I was ready to go coming up this last hill. And I told you, like, remember when we practiced there earlier in the week, I was trying to practice my sprint from further away.
Yeah.
So, came in, say what's up to the people, explain what's going on. You're like, you sprinted too early.
I was on you.
Yeah, you sprinted too early. And I was like, I know, but it was more so I lost momentum and was trying to pick it back up.
And I saw it when you sent me the video, and I was just like, you were like, yo, did you watch the video? And I hadn't watched it. And when I watched it, I was just like, huh, that's that curve.
That's the curve,
That was that curve.
Be careful. Mm-hmm. So overall, I mean, really good race.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was happy to see just so many people out in the field. I think it was 20 or 21.
Yeah. It's always a good day when the women's field is a big field.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I said, I mean, that's one of my favorite things to see.
This was actually really funny because I was excited. Like, Hassan getting on the podium, he won $40. And I won 20 because they expanded it out to 7. Money. So, hey, we won $60 for SOAR.
I paid for gas.
Pay for gas for the bus, maybe
and some
snacks,
brews, you know what I'm saying?
A little something.
Yeah.
Shameless plug if you want to donate to SOAR and what we got going on.
Bang bang.
SOARFoundationRacing.com. I believe that's the website. If not, I'll put it in the video
put it in
here.
the comments below.
Yes, put it in the comments below.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
Yes. If you like what you see, you want to hear more, let us know. We'll keep racing.
And drinking beer.
And talking.
Hey. Cheers.
It's still recording, so this is cool stuff. So let's do a post-race recap with helpful tips, because I think that would be really good.
Definitely. 3
helpful tips for any new and or potentially experienced racer that you saw on the day. Not just from this race. You were out there all day watching races. You raced in the men's Cat 5 race. So and I'm going to let you give the 3 tips because I'm still learning.
The pressure is on.
Yes, I'm going to let you give the 3 tips. But I got one.
All right, tip number 1. Race for SOAR Foundation Racing. Because we are the shit. That
was the one we wanted to start with. Like that. Okay.
All right. Tip number 2. Know your limits. So if you're a strong rider, then be a strong rider, but sit in. If you don't know how to corner, learn how to corner. That's probably a majority of the crashes in Cat 5, Cat 4. People don't know how to handle their bikes. So tip 2 would be know your limits, learn how to handle your bike before you race. Tip number 3. I gotta think of a good tip number 3. Oh, find an efficient line. One of the best things that I did in this race, and I think you and I were talking before the race, but I sat in, I took my turns very efficiently, and I was picking up spots. Every time I made a turn, I was picking up spots or picking up positions, and I was able to just recover very easily.
My tip, and I think this is the most important one, that's why I said we got to bring it home. You just got to show up and have fun.
I forgot about that part. I was being all technical and shit.
You were like, what? Since when are we technical? Just show up and have fun,
and we
man.
had a grand time.
Oh my gosh, we had
a great time.
Had a blast, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, for SOAR, such like an amazing start. Shout out to all the superstars on the team.
Yeah, the athletes
putting in work.
are amazing.
You know, we got a lot to look forward to this season. And
thank the people for coming out and supporting as well.
Absolutely.
Like that shit was dope.
Absolutely.
It was very dope.
That's it.
And we got on the podium.
We did. Signing off. What are you gonna say?
Drink beer, ride bikes, have fun.
Drink beer.